everybody to Breaking the Rules, the Vanderpump ones. And we're going to do it a little bit different today. I'm going to give you guys the headlines first. And then after that, Nick will join me for the recap. And you might notice we have a little different sound. We got a new soundboard, some new mics. So hopefully it will be better sound tonight than what it has been in the past. But it's been a crazy week, so let's just jump into headlines. Rachel sues Tom and Ariana for eavesdropping and revenge porn. Everybody is talking about this, so I'm just going to give you guys a little rundown and my thoughts. I'm sure everyone is sick of hearing about it, but everybody's freaking out because she included Ariana. She had to include Ariana. Ariana is the one that she believes, or she's alleging, disseminated the video to other parties. And even further, she didn't know that Tom recorded her on that FaceTime. And me and a couple of other folks, Vanderpod Recaps and the Bravo Investigator, Queen Bee Show, we were all doing some investigative work today with some FaceTime recording, and there's no audio on it. So even if it was a video only, there was no audio to it. Doesn't make it any better, in my opinion. But it just provides a little bit more context to what may be, and I believe that it was admitted early on that Ariana had sent the video to herself. No doubt I would have done the same thing because it's evidence of that. So you want to keep that evidence so that you can absolutely have that if, for some reason they want to say that it didn't happen or say that it wasn't going on. I do believe there's a little more to this story than what we were originally told. So I think there's a lot of things that are popping up where sources said things to TMZ, to different parties talking about they watched the video or saw the video. And so there's no doubt that she, meaning Rachel, would believe that other people saw the video because of all of the things that we have essentially as creators dug up that we found in the press. So there's no doubt in my mind that she believes that this happened, and that's likely why she's doing what she's doing. And I know that Ariana said that she gave her phone, but at that point, she was just giving her phone to show that she no longer had possession of the video. And it was not an extensive discovery via a subpoena of the telephone to find out whether or not it was sent somewhere. So if this lawsuit persists, I'm anxious to see what is found in discovery. I kind of think the discovery may result in further lawsuits. I mean, that's just my thoughts. But I'm just a little lonely creator, so what do I know? I can say that there was additional things in there that were not even toward the parties. Like, there was things about the network in there. There was also things that Ariana knew, and I almost think it's the way it's written, because I don't think that Rachel believed that she knew, but I think she did believe that she did have a thought in her mind that it may have been going on. However, if that was the thought in your mind, why would you then go with them to Valentine's Day dinner 2 weeks before that blow up? So I would not insert myself into their time if, she somewhat knew that I was the third party and it was not an agreed upon third party. So that's kind of where my speculation comes in to just that piece. But there was a lot of stuff in this lawsuit, and some of it pertained to allegations toward James Kennedy, her ex-fiance, and a trip that they took right before their breakup. And I don't know if you guys remember, but the Bravo investigator pointed it out, and I completely agree with her that Rachel, said early on in her podcast that there were two things that she would not tolerate. One was physical abuse toward herself, and the other was physical abuse toward an animal. And so that meaning that may have been the last straw for her. That's not all that I heard that was part of the reason in why she walked away. So I really do hope that she talks about everything. If she doesn't, I may revisit some of the things that I learned if I can find all of them in black and white somewhere else. So just hang tight with me, and I'll try and bring everything to light for you guys. But the allegation that she had against James in this lawsuit is that a trip home at Thanksgiving with her mom and dad and family, I was told by some sources close to them that it wasn't just family at this gathering, that there was some friends and acquaintances. So it's not just her family saying that this happened. It's like a lot of people saying that this happened. And apparently he got into an altercation, a verbal altercation with her mom and dad, a pretty heated altercation with her mother, a verbal altercation with her mother, and this is all alleged in the lawsuit, and then proceeded to allegedly kick the family dog 4 times. Now, this is not Graham. This is their family dog, so she couldn't even do anything about that and include that in this lawsuit because her parents are not named on the suit, and they would have to be the ones that would bring anything to light for that particular lawsuit. I think really the reason it's included is it's painting a picture of the type of abuse that she's alleging she was suffering during a pandemic, while being on reality TV and not being accepted by other cast members. At least this is what she's alleging. And so all of that kind of took a toll on her mental state and left her very vulnerable for when Sandoval stepped into the picture and was extremely accepting of her in a way in which she'd never been. So that's kind of the way that the lawsuit reads. It doesn't seek a specific amount of damages, so I guess we will find out what that may be. Next up is Jax and Brittany. Brittany officially announced their separation on When Reality Hits podcast. I believe it was released on Thursday. And she was very vague that day. The next day, Jax was like, oh, she's still staying at home, blah, 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 blah. Which is ridiculous. Like, why would you go do that? And so the next day, then she's moving into a rental property. Go figure. And then a couple of days later, she is talking to the press. She really said she moved out for her mental health and the mental health of her child. I told you guys a long time ago, I don't think this has anything to do with their relationship, but more to do with their parenting style. I think there is some issues that need therapy and some extensive occupational and other therapies for Cruz. And we all know how Jax is. I'm sorry, my throat. I forgot to bring my soda in when I was recording headlines by myself. So I don't have anything to drink. I'm like so dry mouthed. But Brittany was very adamant that, this was not a divorce, that, she believed or hoped that things would change. However, she's very set in the state that she asked him to do certain things and he has not done them. So we don't know what that is. I'm assuming we may see some of this play out on the valley. I know that a lot of this has played out recently, but we know there has to be some cumulative things occurring throughout the summer for her to be at this point right now, when she likely probably stayed or stuck around for the holidays and, doing all of that as a family. Who knows? But I've heard a lot from sources that are really pointing to it being more about Jax and being prideful and not wanting to acknowledge that, there would be any type of problem or issue that would need some type of help to advance and get better. The news is crazy with these headlines this week. Like, when I was writing them down, I was like, this is insane. You guys, LALA's pregnant with number 2. She dropped her podcast and she did talk about it. She did use the California cryobank for artificial insemination. She talked a little bit about the donor. She said that she went with someone who had similar look to her and her mother so that she would not have to ask or answer questions early on. That gives her time to, learn as much as she can and be extremely prepared to have those conversations, because she will offer, she seemed pretty open for the child to at some point know who the donor is. I guess with California Cryobank, you can know the donor. But she said that she picked them because their favorite animal was a lion and their favorite song had ocean in it, and there was like ocean and something else, and it just felt right. So she did find out 3 days before Christmas, so that was her Merry Christmas. Congratulations, LALA. We're all happy for you here at Breaking the Rules. It's always amazing growing your family. And I know it's not a conventional choice in which the way that you chose to grow yours, but it's still a joyous occasion. And I'm not sure that you really, I know that you and Randall were very happy, but I know there was extreme turmoil in the household whenever you were pregnant with Ocean. So I think that it will be really great for you to have the support system that you have and have that growing family. Just make sure that you focus on both children extremely strong. I sense that there will be a little bit of a stronger bond. There's always a stronger bond with your firstborn, so Ocean always gets that, but there will also be a stronger bond with the second child because she does not have to share custody with them. So it does make it a little bit different, and there's just different bonds with each child. And so you have to make sure that each child understands those different bonds. So just make sure you read up and you get books on that, and I'm sure you will. You're such an amazing mother. I love listening to the podcast and stories about Ocean. It's probably my favorite part of the podcast. And aside from just stories that you tell about situations in which you're just funny, I don't know. I'm excited for you. I think whenever we did the timeline, it's a September due date. She has not announced that, but I did have some people commenting on a lot of the posts that I put up. I did put some clips up from her latest podcast, so hit the page, hit it, follow it, hit the podcast, hit it, follow it, like it, leave us comments and feedback. Please let us know if the sound is better this week. We would love to hear some feedback on that. So excited to hear that. And I think Rachel went rogue after we dropped last week. It was a little bit crazy. So I didn't add another podcast about it. She has not dropped another, so I'm just going to talk about what she talked about the last time. And she did go into the details about how she felt when LVP was throwing the mental health guilt on Sheena and LALA, how wrong she felt that was, that it just really wasn't her place. I do agree with that, so I think she's spot on here. She did talk about the public reaction and how it differed for both of them, where, you know, she sought that mental health help and, you know, she knew she wasn't at a place. And, you know, I think there's a lot to be said because I don't think anyone has applauded her for that. And I think she does deserve applause for that. For someone to acknowledge that they did have a mental health break in which they needed to seek help and they sought that help before, you know, something drastic happened, that's huge. And I know I'm going to get lash for this, and that's fine because she already did something drastic, but I'm talking about something truly drastic where somebody does something to harm themselves. And I don't think anyone wants to see that happen, and that's not okay. So what we want is for that to be a better environment for her when she returns, and it gives time for the public to, you know, have their meltdown and react the way that we did, and then she came back to a different state, in a different state of mind. We called that running, though, in the public, which is super weird that that's where we went. I didn't ever say that. I think I really try and steer clear whenever we're talking about people's mental health. So for me, and I'm sorry I didn't give a trigger warning, my apologies. But trigger warning, there's been a lot of talk about self-harm lately, so a lot of these episode recaps do talk about that as well. Anyway, I try and steer clear of judging or giving my opinion on someone else's mental health. I don't think that's safe. I don't think that's right. And I don't think that I am clinically, even though I'm a nurse and I went to school for a long time, 7 years, got my master's, 7 years to get that knowledge of nursing, I still do not feel comfortable talking about someone else's mental health. I am not specialized in psychology, and I did not do any type of exam or review of these people. It's not my job. It's not what I do. And it's just not right to me. So I'm not talking on that. I don't think it's right. But we didn't say that about him. We said that he stayed and faced it. I did say that. I did give him props for staying and facing the music and for continually being in the public. I think that there is something to be said for the fact that he could not just not make money. So whereas she could and was able to get the help that she needs, here is the difference in two able-bodied Americans who, one could seek the mental health treatment that they needed, and the other may have needed that mental health treatment but could not ever seek it because they could not stop working to be able to pay the bills in which needed to be paid. So I like to play devil's advocate, and I just wonder what would have happened if he had checked himself in somewhere and had stopped paying the bills that she says he won't provide to her. Like, she would have had to step in and take care of that stuff, or they're shutting off your electric, they're canceling your house insurance. You know what I mean? So I'm just unsure of when that responsibility comes in of being a co-owner of a home with someone and that you're in a partnership with, and you have to own some of the responsibility whenever things go sour, even if you're not one of the people who was the cause of it going sour. So I don't know. that's just, I guess, my thoughts on this week's headlines. And they've been absolutely insane. Like, I cannot believe the amount of headlines that have been coming out. And please hit our TikTok or our Instagram. We not only put up clips of our podcast, but we also put up clips of all of the cast podcast and other podcasts that they go on and do interviews and drop little sound bites. We are also going to be covering The Valley and the upcoming premiere of Vanderpump Villa on Hulu, April 1st. So all of those are coming up rather quickly. I hope to maybe get a guest or two before those premieres. So hang tight with me and we will get running into that recap. Dun-dun. Okay, let's get into this week's episode.
Let's go.
Brought on Nick with me, Amber here. We're hoping that his sound is better this week. Talk to him, babe.
How's it going, everybody? Put me on the spot.
Yeah, I did. Sorry.
I've had enough anxiety today.
Yeah. So his 5 minutes is he took all of the dogs, or 2 of the dogs, but it felt like all of the dogs to the vet today.
Yeah.
And my work is really heavy right now, so I couldn't take off time to go with him. So he had to go it alone with my crazy minion and his dog that gets sick.
But she did fine.
She did, but my minion did not.
No.
And he's sick. He's got some type of worm, because this happens every year.
Mm-hmm.
Like every year one of them has something.
Never fails.
And one of them has Lyme's. And we have opted for the vaccine lately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't want to get too in the weeds of the circus that we call our life.
Right.
Because it is a circus, and the coffee trailer is coming on along.
Yep, it's coming.
So exciting, guys. He's going to be traveling down to Georgia to pick up the trailer.
Yeah.
So sometime in the next couple of weeks, probably.
Yeah. Wish me luck.
It's going to be exciting. So I may be doing one solo recording in there.
Yeah. We'll see.
I love you.
I love you.
So season 11, episode 5, Lake It or
Break it.
I don't know who names these episodes, but I would like my hand at naming episodes in BC.
Let's do it.
I think I'd be a little bit better at it. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, it does that thing where it zeroes in on each of the cast at the beginning, doing like little things. The only thing that I'm going to say about this is that Sheena was hanging out in a bra. Like, and I mean, I get it. If you're just hanging out with your husband and your kid, you could be in a bra. But if I know that they're coming over to film me, I am not going to be wearing a bra and a bra only. That's me. So to each his own. Maybe y'all will be like, I wear a bra all the time when people come over. But
Is she still, like, in breastfeeding stage?
No.
Oh, okay. It was the only thing I was thinking.
no. No, and the only reason I know that is because of how small her breasts are. There's no way she's breastfeeding.
Okay. I know. Never mind.
And it showed the Toms are shopping, and it showed that very beginning shot showed they were at a place called the Hatchet Supply.
Yeah. Getting hatchet, all right.
Hatchet your wallet is what it will do.
Right.
Is what we saw. Anyway, James and Graham are in the car. What I thought was really crappy here is the jump for him to be in confessional and saying, I was the one taking care of him all of the time.
Yeah.
I
doubt that.
I doubt that as well. But, I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know for sure who was taking care of him. I think that, if I'm being real honest, I don't think he was getting the attention that he needed, and that's the reason why he was having some of his behavior issues. And Tom's former assistant talked about on her podcast, we signed an NDA with Amanda from the Vile Files. I don't know how you say that. I always say his name wrong, and I need to like listen to him say it.
Is it like veal?
It's Viall, and I've heard some say vile, some say vial, some say bow.
We'll stick with veal.
Veal. The veal files. Okay, we'll do that. I don't know, but I just feel like there's not really a way for us to know what happened there, but I do feel like her account in saying that the dog was extremely food aggressive, she said you had to put it in a room, go get the food ready somewhere else, like away from him.
Yeah.
And then bring the food in and like set it down when he was calm enough, because he was going to go ape shit as soon as you set it down.
Sounds like he needed some training.
On food aggression.
Yeah.
That sounds like food aggression, which is really common in dogs. And you train them by their master literally going over and sometimes getting their hand bit because you put it in the bowl.
It's what it takes sometimes.
It is what it takes sometimes. You definitely have some scars on your hands.
Oh, yeah.
From the asshole in the other room that we had to put up before we got in here, because he is just so testy lately.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. He may have contracted Lyme's again, even though he is vaccinated against Lyme's. We will find out. He will have an appointment in like 3 weeks. So.
Yeah.
Y'all, it's like almost $1,000 a pop every time we're taking them in there to get medication, to get all of what we need, to get everything. It's crazy. And everybody's like, get pet insurance. Pet insurance, you have to pay for it up front. And then when we did have it on some of the dogs, they didn't reimburse it easily. Like, we fought to get reimbursement on like normal maintenance healthcare, like shots and stuff that they were supposed to be paying for. I don't know. It was crazy. So if there's a company out there that you guys suggest, please let us know. And we will gladly bring them on.
Do better.
Get you a good advertisement for them. Anyway, I just thought that was distasteful for him to get him back in the manner in which he did. He knows that she's in a mental institution. That's the thing. They're acting like they don't know for sure, but they knew for sure.
Right.
We know now that Rachel's camp was telling them all along, says it in the lawsuit, all along via records, that they wanted them to confirm she was getting help. And they would not. They put out a lot of shit, but they didn't put that out.
Right.
They talked about somebody, and he's like taking that dog home. Sorry, I'm going backwards. He's taking that dog home to Allie.
Right.
She does not even know he's coming with that dog.
That's crazy.
Dude, I would kill you if you just showed up at the house here with another dog. Or with our first dog. I would definitely kill you.
No doubt.
Sorry, guys. I told you earlier I'm really parched, and I do have my drink this time, so I have to take a drink. We have a different setup this time, so till we get a new arm, I'm like across the room, holding a mic. But they are really nice mics.
Yeah, they are.
So I hope the sound comes off as good as it sounds to us in here.
I hope so.
I don't know. We'll see. Somebody pooped on the patio at something about her.
Whoa. Pooped on the patio.
Who pooped on the patio? Who do you think pooped on the patio? If you had to guess.
Can we confirm if it was human?
I don't think it matters.
I think it was Graham.
You think it was Graham?
Maybe.
Was Hippie?
Yeah, it could have been a good possibility.
Some people said Billy Lee. Which I don't think is true, but it was really funny. Just thinking about any human being in that little... I don't even want to think about it. It's so funny thinking about somebody being in that little vestibule there and pulling their pants down and just taking a big, huge dump.
Oh, man.
You'd have to really hate some
That was
people.
a good one.
You would really have to hate some people. Unless maybe they pooped at home and brought it.
Like, in the bag, in the brown poop bag.
Well, I don't know if it was in a bag. I did not go into that much detail.
It was like a flaming turds.
I didn't want to search down the poop pictures.
No, I'm interested.
I'm not interested. I do not want to be interested in this at all.
Videos.
I should not have written this down. Oh, shit. Anyway, the permits are going apeshit.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about how many red flags they're having to go through to get something about her open. And speaking of,
Yeah.
it was empty this week. Like, it even looked empty on the inside from the videos that I saw today. There's a lot of people speculating. I think if anything, if it is empty, I'm so sorry, guys. If it is empty, that they may have had to change locations because of how many, like, violations and permit changes and things they've had to do for this. Like, that's crazy.
Maybe occupancy. I don't know.
Who knows? But I'm sure there'll be more to come. So we'll let you know an update on that next week. But it was funny in the confessionals. Ariana said she would ask who she needs to blow to get the permits moved along, but it's West Hollywood and they're all gay.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of West Hollywood,
Yeah.
I'm going to share a little secret with you guys. Should I share a secret with them, babe?
Yeah, baby.
So I got an amazing invitation to go out to LA, and I got an invitation to Kyle Chan's birthday party, and I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I would never have dreamed. I love Kyle Chan and his jewelry. You guys saw my story, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I showed you the love initial necklace that I got from him, which is so damn beautiful. It's my favorite piece.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Don't worry, Kyle. I already picked out my ring. So Nick has the ring link.
Yep, we got the link.
He's got the link, and it's gonna be the gold piece that I wear because my original band is white gold.
Yeah.
Or platinum. And so I wanted to make sure that I had something that was gold, like yellow gold. And so I picked out a rather expensive, really beautiful ring. But anyway, you guys, he invited me to go. I'm so excited. I texted a girlfriend, and thank God for spontaneous girlfriends, because you are so busy right now. There's no way we could do kenneling and all of that.
Right.
We've invested probably, I don't know, 25 grand probably total in the business. So we just didn't have the extra funds for me to go alone or us to go together. So a spontaneous girlfriend was like, YOLO, we're going. So I am super excited and cannot wait to share all the details with you guys. I've talked to a couple of cast members and friends of, and I know a couple are going to be there, so I'm going to connect with a few people. I just don't want to be a faceless person on the internet anymore. So just want to get to know the people for real instead of just on the show. Build a relationship and bring them into you guys on the podcast so that I can share some of their thoughts and views on coming into that world or being in that world. I don't know. I'm excited.
Yeah. They're lucky I'm not going to be there.
Why? What would you do?
Oh, I just picture myself being that guy on that commercial with LL Cool J. Like, sitting there tapping his shoulder in line.
Get out of my way.
Doing selfies.
I love it. Oh, shoot. But anyway, I'm super excited to share everything with you guys. And thank you so much for supporting me, sweetheart.
Of course.
He is the most amazing husband, you guys. He supports all of the crazy, stupid shit that I do. And God love him for just being like, yes, yes, yes. But it has gotten us here. So I guess there's that. Anyway, Allie, she did kind of freak out when he walked in with the dog.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, she was not, like, her eyes were big.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that was the first she knew, though. You know there had to be a different reaction. Or is she just that calm that he knew he could just walk in with the dog?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Because I tried to pay attention, watch her reaction. So I couldn't really tell, personally.
We did get some reports from a source that said her husband works, like, a couple doors down from Vanderpump Dogs. And they said that he walked in with the dog and walked out with the dog. So we do still believe that that scene was reshot.
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder, though, why was it reshot? Was there not great interaction the first time? Did something happen?
It probably just wasn't pretty enough.
Yeah.
He got it. I don't know. That's what I picture.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It has to be production wise. I did think that it was extremely classy of Allie to say that it was mean. She was like, that's so mean that they got possession of Graham while she was inpatient. And she said, I can't imagine somebody taking Banks, and I don't know what the other cat's name is, and I feel bad because I feel like I only know Banks.
Yeah, me too. So I think it's the only one I see, honestly.
Yeah. But she said she can't imagine somebody taking them from her when she lost everything. So she's acknowledging some of the true feelings that Rachel has in that moment.
Same. I go John Wick if you take my Lorelai.
Or your Radley.
Or my Radley.
Yeah, so he has 2 dogs, but Lorelai is his service dog. The funny thing is she's his dog for anxiety, and she has more anxiety than he does. And sometimes her
possible?
anxiety gives him anxiety.
Yeah.
It doesn't work out very well sometimes.
It doesn't.
But she does make you smile when no one else does.
Yep.
So, I don't know. And it's bad that I can admit that. But it's okay. I mean, my dogs make me smile when no one else can. So I can be really, really mad at you and upset, and they can walk in and I'm always like...
Which we all know is not often.
Never.
Yeah.
It never happens. Are you crazy? But I don't know. He did not seem like he was excited about the cats.
Yeah. Not at all.
They did go back to Tom shopping.
Yeah.
$500 for a hat.
Was it the hat? I thought it was the shirt that Schwartz was looking at.
No, it was the hat.
Oh, okay.
Insane, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. I'm not paying $500 for a hat. I don't care what it is.
Dude, I flip out with... I pay $75 for one.
You flip out on me whenever I want to pay like $30 for a hat for you. So.
Well, the ones I spend $75 aren't for me.
Agreed. We have a young son, so he definitely likes the hats.
Yep. Just like me. But on a nicer level.
He talked about, Schwartz talked about Jesus texting him and telling him that Rachel was going back to her birth name, Rachel instead of Raquel.
Who's that?
Jesus.
Yeah.
He's a friend. I'll have to look up exactly how he's connected, but he's just a friend of the group that I know. I think he plays a pivotal role, but I would need to look it up. You asked me too quick, and I didn't even write down.
Gotcha.
Can't put me on the spot like that.
Gotcha.
This is why we're supposed to be podcast partners. We're supposed to say, like, before we start, hey, I'm going to ask you this question.
Well, I just thought of it.
So, I'm going to ask you this question.
You always put me on the spot.
I am. I'm putting you on the spot right now. I'm going to ask you this question.
No!
Marry, fuck, kill.
Oh, no.
Rachel, Ariana, and Bethany Frankel.
Well, the killing won't be hard. Because I'm not touching that with a 6-foot pole.
So we're killing B.
Yeah. For sure.
So, who we marrying?
Who was my other choice?
Rachel and Ariana.
Oh, God.
I think he'd marry Rachel. I really do.
No.
Are you serious?
I don't think I could. I just have to get that bang over with.
Oh, I'm dying. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as we are. So he would bang Rachel and marry Ariana. I never thought you would do that. Wow.
I don't have the energy for a 20-year-old or what. However, I don't have it.
She's almost 30.
Yeah, I still don't have it anymore.
You would rather sit at home and watch Love is Blind with Ariana. Yeah. Because that's what she wants to do.
I guess so.
And bake.
I mean, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I guess that is pretty... That is a pretty good point.
So...
Oh, shit. That was great. Okay, I'm sorry. We got really sidetracked, you guys. Anyway, Tom said that he knew she was going to go back to her birth name. And he did not want to tell anybody because it was such a pivotal like thing. It was her thing to do.
Gotcha.
But I mean, it's her birth name.
It's my birth name.
So I'm not really sure why it's so surprising that she would go by that. You know? Does that not seem weird? That he thinks that's such a...
Shocking.
Yeah, it's such a shocking thing. I don't know. But I will say, it makes me think back. You know, he's doing this whole thing where he's like, she wouldn't talk to me, and it's been like 3 weeks, and I haven't heard from her.
Right.
And she did not contact him on his birthday. But you know, he made sure on her birthday to hit her fucking Instagram and broadly broadcast him saying happy birthday to her. So that whenever he was on this season, he could be like, but you remember, I went on and said happy birthday to her and wished her well.
Right.
It just, I don't know, it just fell flat for me when I was thinking back to those two things in comparison now that we're watching, you know, she didn't contact him and he made this big deal about it.
Right.
I don't know. The Schwartz is a little bit worried about the trip.
Yeah.
And kind of putting himself on the line for, you know, reuniting everybody with Sandoval.
Yeah, right.
How I don't know if I could. Well, I know I could be the person that would reunite people because, you know, I do that. Like, I would definitely be the bridge to gap.
Right.
But I just don't know how it would. I don't think I could be the person that walked into a room full of, or a house full of people that didn't like me. Even if it was my job. Like, I would find a new job.
Right. Instantly, I would have relocated.
I mean, I feel like there's totally, I mean, look at Vinny and Pauly D from Jersey Shore. There's totally a whole Capital network that will put him on just for going through women and going out and partying and touring and doing all of these things.
Apparently someone enjoys that.
There's a lot of people that enjoy it. By the way, I forgot to tell you that Michelle texted me and was like, he's coming back. He's coming back to Pittsburgh.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, oh, my God. I can't believe he's coming back after they, like, made a whole big stink. But apparently it must have went well. When I hear, because they were talking about, I listened to another podcast of Tom's. I know. But I really enjoyed it, to be honest with you. And Jason, they were talking about him getting roasted for, I was listening to for the response to the New York Times. And they were talking about Tom Sandoval being roasted on Saturday Night Live. Because they did a skit where he was a sperm and he was talking about being the biggest narcissist. He's like Tom Sandoval. He's the biggest narcissist with no heart or something.
Dang,
and
I'll have to look for that one.
It was really, it fell flat. Like, there wasn't even laughter in the studio, and it was live. So it was like boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
But of course it went viral because all of the Bravo folks thought it was crazy funny that they did it. He was not thrilled. Jason and them were like, it's Saturday Night Live. If you get roasted by anyone, be roasted by them and just smile and like it.
Exactly.
But they said that when they were in New York playing, that Saturday Night Live came to see them play and then came backstage and hung out with them afterward for hours. The writers and everything.
That's weird.
So, I mean, apparently they really liked Tom Sandoval and
somebody.
the most extras. So
somebody had fun.
I'll put the word out there for that he dropped on his pod because I thought that was interesting that occurred. Anyway, the next thing they flip to is Brock and Sheena and their shopping excursion.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
so much fun.
This did not turn out well, you guys. This was so bad. I put up a clip from the after show on this one because Sheena did come to the defense of Brock on the after show.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting because she said a lot of things that she does not get to say on the show, or they edit out,
Right.
per se.
Mm-hmm.
Because Brock was saying a lot of things that day while they were shopping. He said that her mom was controlling her, that she was not, she was telling her that things were not right that she was doing as a mother, and, you know, almost, and I can't even think of what it's called, but I put it up. It's investment. I can't guarantee. You got to go to the
You're
post on the page. Yeah, no, it is, and it does not sound like a real word, but it is. And it's a clinical diagnosis. I am not here to diagnose anyone. It's just, and it usually occurs with narcissistic mothers and them trying to control the daughter.
Yeah.
To a point of, you know, you have to do this. This is the right way to do it. The other way that you're doing it is the wrong way. You know, you're the wrong way. You're mothering the wrong way.
That seems to be a trend with them.
Well, that's kind of what Brock said.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not making things up here. She came to his defense on the after show, though, and she said, he's just trying for me to be able to stand on my own 2 feet, to have my own opinion and make decisions as a mother without her trying to step in.
Right.
So there is a little bit of crossed boundaries and lines, and that's the thing. Sheena has to set those boundaries in order for it to stick.
Yeah.
That's not his job, and I think it's a really shitty position for him to be in. It makes me feel for him a lot. It also makes me feel for Sheena a lot. It makes me understand why she has that pick-me or a pleasing personality, where she wants to be pleasing toward everyone.
Right.
That is 100% where that comes from. And so that's deep-rooted, and that makes me not really want to talk to that about her anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sheena.
Yeah.
It's a lot of deep-rooted shit. Like, that's deep. I don't want people be digging up the shit that I have based on the childhood. I mean, I didn't have a bad childhood. Don't get me wrong. Like, my childhood was great. But everybody has things that happen to them in their life that your reaction means everything.
Right.
Everything.
Everything.
What did you think about... I mean, how would you feel if my mom was that involved? My mom is amazing, though. She does not get involved in our business.
It's tough being a guy. especially when it comes to, you know, babies. You really, I feel like you don't really get a say at much of anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean,
I
can't say anything because, I mean...
In my defense, when we got together, the children were 9 and 11. Was that right?
No.
8 and 10?
Place was 8.
8 and 10.
Yeah.
So they were 8 and 10. And I had been with my ex for about a decade. However, he wasn't really present in parenting them, so I had been parenting them alone for quite some time.
Yeah.
Adjusting to that is not easy, so my apologies if that is how you felt, because I can tell you that our children don't feel that way.
No, I just mean, like, in general, like, because
but no, I mean, like, the children loved you as a parent. Like,
exactly. That's what
he
I
found
wanted.
ways to parent them, and he was so creative. He didn't have to be aggressive or even physical, and at any point he could do what he needed to do with his voice, and he didn't even have to yell. It's just a tone.
It's hard for you to believe on the podcast.
On the podcast.
I'm sure. My throat's just wore out from
screaming at me all day.
Yeah. Army life.
Yeah, no doubt. What cracked me up is that Brock said it was optics.
Yeah.
When he threw in that it was optics.
His best friend's word.
Yeah, it is. It's Sandoval's best word, according to Rachel.
Yeah.
It's his favorite thing. But her saying, "Stop talking, Jesus." Like,
yeah.
I can just say,
that sucks.
You and I have never spoke to each other that way. Even in our worst argument.
No, there's no need to. At that point, messages aren't getting sent or received. Sorry.
It's just disrespectful, in my opinion.
Yes.
Like,
Nobody wants to be yelled at.
Well, I feel like whenever we are, even when we're having an argument, I still want to understand where you're coming from. And so I'm never doing that if what I'm saying is stop talking.
Right. Yeah.
And I think really what she wanted is for him to shush while the cameras were there and while they were in a store, because it was like a double. Like, how embarrassing is this? Not only are we fighting on camera, but we're fighting on camera in a store, and this woman is folding clothes like she's not listening.
Right. Hey, awkward.
Like, she didn't... Like, I wouldn't get my phone out and record that.
You know she had it set up somewhere.
Well, here's the thing. Like, you could have recorded it because you didn't have to release it until now. You could release it right now after they've already played the scene and be like, and this is what really happened. This was... And the rest of the story.
The crime scene.
Oh, shoot. Anyway... Graham gets to go to Lake Tahoe with Lisa on the private jet, on the PJ. And Sheena acknowledges Tom at the airport. I'll say that he got visibly, like, the Toms talked about this on the podcast, that he got visibly shaken up.
Yeah.
By the fact that she was like, we're over here, like, instead of just sitting there and not saying anything and waiting for Schwartz to say, hey, we're over here.
Yeah.
You know, so it was kind of a pivotal moment for him on the trip, in the friend group, whatever have you made that. I mean, Sheena to him is his way back in, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely relying on that. For sure.
We are not surprised by that.
No.
The whole world is not surprised by that.
Lisa gave the command.
The wolves and Lisas. I forget what podcast. Oh, I think it was We Signed an NDA. They did.
Yeah.
They were talking about, I wonder if the wolves signed to be photoshopped. Because they were photoshopped. In that picture with her at the end that they showed.
I didn't even
It
pay
was
attention.
so photoshopped. Like, it was so bad.
I'll have to look.
Crazy
Pretty
bad.
good laugh.
I don't know, but they were... The husky puppies were adorable.
Yeah, I'll take one.
I know, he's always wanted a husky. And I heard they were aggressive, and so I didn't get one, and then he picked the last Australian Shepherd we got, and it's aggressive. Go figure.
Oh.
I miss our Finley.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Toms are in their own rental car.
Yeah, they are.
Is that because nobody else wanted to ride with him? Like, I was so confused by that, why they were in a car alone. Like, it was like a huge third row SUV.
Yeah.
And they were alone.
Very large Escalade, it looked like.
I wanted to be like, what a waste of production money. So, what a waste of production money. We could not pay Peter this season to participate because he was on Bravo and Blaze and said that the reason he didn't come back is because they didn't pay him. Refused to pay him. They didn't have it budgeted. So they had it budgeted for Tom and Tom to ride in their own Tahoe.
Oh.
At Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, it could have been. Tahoes.
I don't know. I just thought that was interesting because it was kind of dumb.
Well, maybe we wouldn't have gotten the tears of Sandy if we had more than Schwartz.
Nick was not buying the tears of Sandoval, the ever-flowing tears of Sandoval.
He cries too much for me to believe it.
I think it just depends on, has he always been a crier like that? I don't know if I remember. I think he has. Remember when he was at the table with Kristen, he was like, I thought we were going to get married.
Him and Rachel should have got married. Or, I'm sorry. Daggone, I didn't mean to say Rachel.
Kristen. Ariana.
No.
Is it somebody he was with?
Sheena.
Sheena.
Yeah. They both like the tears.
Sandoval and Sheena?
Yeah.
You think those two should get together?
Yeah. They like the drama.
They
like.
They are a pretty good match. Well, he did say that whenever he was playing Fuck, Marry, Kill on Billy Lee's podcast, Billy Lee and the Kid, that he would marry Ariana or Sheena. He would vice versa, either one of them. Which, Ariana won't marry you.
No, definitely not.
At this point, I don't know if Sheena would even marry you. She might think about it later on. I don't know. Anyway, they all get to the house, and Brock he gets caught in the kitchen with Sandoval, and he tries to have a conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
Sandoval immediately is like, I don't want to do this here. Like, how do you expect to just sit in this, like, dwell in this house together and not, it's like the elephant in every fucking room.
Right.
You can't do that. You have to have the conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So he does end up starting to have a conversation, and he says that, you know, he wasn't doing it to be malicious.
Yeah.
And that kind of seems to be the theme of what he's saying to everybody, because he just said that to James.
Right.
And he keeps saying that to different people. It wasn't malicious.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't malicious, but you knew it would hurt everyone. So I'm not sure how that's not malicious. Because if you know you're going to hurt someone, isn't that what malicious means?
I'm pretty sure.
Malicious intent.
Yeah.
Means you know you're going to hurt someone when you do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I need to look up the exact definition, but I'll let you guys know.
Go check my legal dictionary.
Sandoval thanks James as he's walking through. He's like, thanks for being nice to me.
Yeah.
For not being mean to me with everything that's going on. And James's confessional, he's like, calm down, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, I said hi to you.
Settled in.
We're not best friends. We won't ever be best friends. I don't know. It was just like a one to the other.
Right.
There's so much conspiracy theories going on. Sandoval is ranting in confessionals about the podcast conspiracy theories that are being shared while they're, you know, doing all of that mudslinging that was going on all summer long, and it was really bad, you guys. I mean, granted, there was tons of clips that ended up getting shared from all of the creators, including us.
Mm-hmm.
But it's what you guys want to know. You want to know what's being said and what's going on, and the latest and greatest is happening on those podcasts. But they do start, sitting down and talking about the actual shit that had went down, and he thanks them all for being there for him. He tells them that he ordered a meditation because of everything that went on. He's gonna get meditation to come in the next day.
Okay.
James called it Mr. Try Hard, Trying Hard. He was like slinging funny shit left and right in confessionals. Like, I can't deny the funny shit that comes out of his mouth. I'll never deny that. But Lisa comes walking down the stairs with Graham in tow, just like Sheena said on her Amazon Live. So that was definitely still in there. They're freaking out. Like, LALA and Sheena's face, and I will say that Sheena says she always knew why James and Rachel broke up, and I do believe now that it was the incident at Thanksgiving had a lot to do with it, but there is
say so.
something else.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that she knew that, and seeing him come down and be handed back to James, she took a double take. I just want to know, would she leave her child with him? Because she won't even leave her child with, like, anybody.
Right.
But
barely her mom.
Barely her mom, this is correct. Or it's only her mom. He does start talking about renaming him immediately to Hippie.
Yeah.
And he gives the backstory there. It's all been shared a million times, so I'm not going to go into detail. He did say something again with the shit that comes out that is just not okay.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you can't handle it and you go away. I talked about this earlier in the headlines. The public's reaction to both of them was different, and everybody reacted to Rachel going into to get mental help and acknowledging she was at a bad place and having dark thoughts as running away.
What you expect her to do with the dog?
Yeah. I mean, I wish now, it makes me wonder, like, who's going to now start creating rehabilitation centers and places where you can bring your pet?
Right.
Because that would be amazing.
They should.
They should absolutely do that, because I guarantee you tons of people are not getting the help that they need because they have a pet, because they have an obligation. Babe, I said it on the headlines and you didn't get to hear it.
Yeah.
But I wonder if Tom would have gotten help if he would have went and checked himself in somewhere too and stopped paying bills and shit because he wasn't touring and making money. What would Ariana have done? She would have had to step in and pay the fucking bills.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's her house too.
Exactly. And she would have called and found out the mortgage. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, there's responsibility and then there's responsibility.
Exactly.
Like, either you care or you don't. And I feel like there's going to be a lot said during the lawsuit between the two of them. Because not only are they being sued by Rachel, but Ariana is suing Tom and he's countersuing her.
Oh boy.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a fucking mess. A free-for-all in legal fees.
Oh boy.
Sandoval says that, what he's been told that about, and this is what I'm saying, he's kind of acknowledging exactly what Rachel says in her lawsuit.
Yeah.
Because he says, he's been told some things that he knows some things, but James is not going to hear that now.
Yeah.
He's not going to hear what he has to say right now, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, he almost does tell Allie, though. He says, the dog bit a couple of people. He doesn't talk about what James did. But he's like, the dog bit a couple of people. It went to training. It went to foster. kept biting people, and they had to make a decision. So, I guess LVP running that chip and finding out LVP was involved was all they needed to know.
Yeah.
It flips away from Tahoe at that point and goes to back to LA with Ariana in the house.
Yeah.
And she's talking to the designer of a lot of their furniture and the house on the phone. I get where she's coming from on some of that stuff, although I had to laugh because the piece that you complain about all the time that's hanging on the wall, the Lego
Right.
piece, the designer, it's Legos, and the designer offered to redo it and remove Tom from the piece. Do it.
I say we drop it off the top of a building. Let's watch the Legos go flying.
Oh my god, that would be so fucking cool.
Right?
You always have the best ideas. I would be like, let's do it!
When it comes to destruction.
Dude, I would hate you and we would be split up and I'd be like, let's do that shit.
Light it up.
Yeah, let's do it. Can we record it? Can we raise money for a charity or something? But she's talking about all of the, like, the lighting fixtures, and she literally said she's coming around to him taking, like, keeping the house.
Right.
But he can have the fucking walls.
Be like, that's fine
by
me.
Yeah, I'm just not that petty. This is
Yeah.
why you're really glad that you married me, and this is why you're really...
Well,
You sure you want to marry Ariana in that fuck, marry, kill situation? Because
You
it
can
sounds
make
like
a
Rachel's
choice.
a much cleaner break. I don't know that she is suing them both.
we're just not there mentally. Like, not like...
Intellectually.
Yes.
Yes. He definitely would... He calls me on shit sometimes, and you guys, I like to think that I'm a little smart. At least, I'm at a director level at work at a corporation, and I definitely like to think that I'm smart enough to hold a conversation, but he definitely can check me on shit quite often. You know your shit. You know history. You know geography. You know all of the things that I do not know. He wants to go on the floor really bad. So if you can hear him, Fox, he would like to be a contestant on the floor.
Yeah.
Call him up for the floor.
I'm coming up as Nacho Libre.
But they go back to Lake Tahoe. Schwartz gets stung. Brock apologizing. I mean, it's like this whole thing.
Yeah.
And they go to what is the shell of Wolf, the new restaurant she's building.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The pictures look beautiful. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go. You know, Lake Tahoe is a place I really want to go. You and I both want to go there at some point. So, definitely that part of California is a dream. So I definitely would like to go.
Yeah.
If my lungs and respiratory can take it. But they do some slaughtering of a wall.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was just weird, some of the shit they were yelling.
Right. Especially Sandy.
Well, first there was James. Should have taken care of Graham better.
Right.
Like...
As I'm beaten. Never mind.
Sheena, TRO. Come on, like, y'all are all hitting Rachel with a sledgehammer again. Then you get Sandy, who was scumbags and cheaters. What was that? Scumbags and cheaters. I don't know what that was. And then he was like Charles Manson's son. And when he did that one, like, the other people laughed, but then Sheena was like, I'm pretty sure I'm the one that called him that. I don't know if anybody heard that, but she did say that. I'm pretty sure I'm the one that said that.
Oh, shoot.
But Worm with a mustache, he threw that one out there too, of course.
Yeah.
They go straight from the smashing of a wall to dinner with Lisa and Ken.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they talk a little bit about Graham.
Of course.
LALA immediately said that he's a different dog than what she remembers. And of course, you know, Lisa inflicted that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
But did you notice that Lisa said, James seems like a different dog as well?
Totally missed that.
I can't. If you can acknowledge that if this is better and he was that bad before, and you couldn't even acknowledge the bad, but you can acknowledge that he's better, you are not a good person. You're just not.
Right.
It's not good. It's not a good look. I don't know. Sandoval takes a selfie of he and Brock looked the most uncomfortable I've ever seen a human look in my life.
Oh, I think I must have missed that.
They were sitting beside each other at dinner, and he literally was like, take a selfie with me.
That's for...
He took it, and Brock looked at, I think it was Sheena, it may have been somebody else, LALA maybe, and he looked at them and he was like, oh my God, that's going to be posted, and here we go.
How awkward.
And it was, I'm sure it was. So, you know, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that started ensuing, and he wasn't even agreeing to that. So, I mean, that was just sitting down and filming together, and, you know, he said, I mean, what was he supposed to say? No, I'm not taking a picture with you. You stupid worm. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's crazy thinking
Without
about
a mustache.
They do start talking about Rachel.
Yeah.
Sheena's confessional she kind of talked bad about Ariana's new relationship, in my opinion, because she said that she didn't believe that they could move it on at all until they had a clean break, and that involved not living in the same home together. I don't think she's wrong.
Right.
But if that's my best friend going on TV and saying that, I'd be pissed. Like, pissed off.
The hell do you know about it?
Not enough. They go out for cocktails after that.
Mm-hmm.
And Sandoval does say that he wants to acknowledge, you know, the feelings and of James, and the fact that, you know, he does have some things that he needs to get off his chest.
Mm-hmm.
So he does ask him if he wants to step away and talk.
Yeah.
I thought that was that's the way that he should be doing this. Just don't give everybody the same speech. And I felt like here he said the same thing that he told Brock.
It's always the same shit.
Yeah, where he was like, you know, I didn't mean it to be malicious. He did, I think there was one really genuine thing he said to here.
Yeah.
He said that he was scared to tell him because he felt like either any way it was going to hurt him. And that he felt like because of that he was scared to tell him that it had even occurred. And that kind of made sense to me. Regardless of, you know, my current status and relationship, I would feel uncomfortable going to a friend and being like, hey, you know that fiance you just split up with?
Yeah.
Well, I'm fucking her. You know what I mean? Like, it just would be awkward. And I know it wouldn't be, you wouldn't say it like that, but it still would not be, it wouldn't feel good coming from somebody that is a close coworker of yours.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what they are. They might act like they're friends right now, but they're acquaintances. Mm-hmm. He's acquaintances with Ariana too. I feel like nobody is really truly friends with Ariana on that show. Like, deeply friends with Ariana on that show. She saves her good friends for people that are not cast members. Dana, Brad, Logan. People that are like NPCs.
It's great for TV.
I did think James said something that resonated with me. He said, if you really, talking about him breaking up with Ariana, he said, if you really wanted to say it, you would have said it and walked out the door. If you really wanted to break up with her,
Yeah.
you would have just said it. There's no roundabout way. I tried. She wouldn't listen. Yet I kept going to bed with her.
Oh, yeah. He was just going to take advantage of it for as long as he could.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's having your cake and eating it too. That is the fucking definition, people.
Yeah.
He wanted to keep that house, the deals they got as a couple, cast it as a couple, and keep that, and then keep fucking Rachel on the sidelines.
Double dipping.
And I'm not saying that he didn't have feelings for Rachel, because I'm sure he probably did have feelings for Rachel, but they were not the same.
Yeah.
We have dogs getting very, very mad at us.
Yeah. Getting antsy.
I wrote down here that I don't even know what I said. I can't even read my own writing. He's something about James. It was about James saying
or he misses the old days.
Well, and he said that he doesn't know that he's ever had a real friend in LA.
Oh.
And that kind of really spoke volumes to maybe some of the reasons why he is the way that he is.
Mm-hmm.
It's because he can't trust anyone around him. That's kind of what he's saying, is that he feels like he's never really had anyone that he could trust in. So that was kind of the last thing that I wrote down there, because the episode did end with their conversation.
Yeah, it was pretty strange.
I don't know. It was a good episode. I felt like it was a better episode than the previous weeks.
Yeah, definitely better than the last 4.
So we hope it keeps climbing and we keep learning more. Congratulations to LALA again. Excuse me.
Yeah. Yep. Congratulations.
Okie doke. Yeah, he is not for babies. He's not a baby guy.
No, it's just the whole thing's just weird to me.
Babies are weird to him though. He's like Ariana in that sense.
No.
Yeah, they are.
You're not even letting me speak. This is what I go through. She jumps to what she thinks I'm gonna say, and now I forget what I'm gonna say. So, yeah.
Babies. About babies. Whether or not you like them.
No, it wasn't.
I fucked it up. I love you.
Love you.
Okie doke, guys. We shall see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.